Hell's Canyon, or Wallowa-Whitman National Forest, is located in Idaho and is roughly 615,000 acres. It was established in 1975 by President Gerald Ford and sees just over 500,000 visitors per year. That was of data as of 2003.
Yeah, they didn't really have very good data on this area, and it's part of the much larger national forest, which is a couple million square acres. So it looks like a pretty cool area.
I almost hate doing these because we see so many cool spots that I didn't know about, and then we see them, and then I just get mad that we can't go.
Yeah.
Just a little backstory. The earliest residents of Hills Canyon was the Nez Perce tribe. So is this close to Nez Perce Wilderness, where we've had, was it 1 or 2 cases that we've actually covered in that area?
I want to say yes, but I know if we're wrong, we will find out.
Well, I'm like 90% sure.
I think it's called
one episode.
Nez Perce.
Nez Perce?
Perce.
Oh, Nez Perce. Then maybe the other one is Nez Perce. I just remember the one where it was they were filming a TV show and there was a guy who was like a key grip that like just kind of just ran off, and that was in this area. So, okay, we can move on from that. Hell's Canyon Archaeological District is a 12,000-acre historic district that is listed in the U.S. National Register of Historic Places. There are many sites with pictographs, and the largest of which are Buffalo Eddy, with more than 500 pictographs, and Pittsburgh's Landing, where nearly 30 boulders are covered with them. In 1806, 3 members of the Lewis and Clark expedition team entered the canyon region along the Salmon River, but turned back without going deeper into the canyon. Hell's Canyon is the deepest river gorge in North America. At 7,900 feet, Hell's Canyon is actually deeper than the Grand Canyon. So is it just small in size and just really aggressively deep?
Yeah, so it's obviously the Grand Canyon is...
It's like vast.
It's vast. But yeah, Hell's Canyon is just, it's deeper. So it's not as like vast as if you saw the Grand Canyon. Oh, and Joe, just to update, while you were talking just now, I looked up how close Hell's Canyon is to, it's called the Nez Perce National Forest. It's about, I want to say 270 miles to the south.
So they're like not related, but the tribe was probably in the area, like encompassed that area, so they just named a lot of stuff after the tribe.
Yeah.
Okay. So Heaven's Gate Lookout is high above Hell's Canyon, and on a clear day is a place where you can see the state of Washington, Montana, and Oregon. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You can see 3 different states from that height. And just a fun fact, did you know, Mike, in Idaho, it is illegal for a person to fish while riding the back of a camel?
I didn't know that, Joe. That's a really strange law since camels aren't, natural to Idaho, but...
That's the Bob's Law. There's some guy named Bob did something with a camel and fishing. They're like, you know what? We're just going to make this illegal so it doesn't happen again.
Yep.
So the climate in the area, coldest months, as you can imagine, are December and January with lows in the teens, while the hottest months are July and August with temps in the low 70s. So it's a pretty temperate climate. Mm-hmm. Average snowfall in the 2 coldest months are about a foot of snow, while rainfall in the summer is between 1 and 2 inches a month. So,
looking at the climate, you can definitely tell that it's kind of a drier area.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know this from experience. Some of the mountainous regions in like Colorado get a ton of snow in the winter and rain in the summer. So it probably has something to do with being on the east side of the mountains. I can't remember the range now.
Yeah, I know. It's we mentioned rain shadow and we screwed something up and somebody got mad at us, so I don't even want to talk about it. Because I'm not a climatologist or a weather person. But I understand that the mountains do something with the atmosphere to which sometimes it doesn't rain as much. So there you go. I think that's the way I'm going to put it.
Works for me.
So other weather considerations, you can get the flash floods, frostbite in the winter, which is also hypothermia you can get from being wet. You don't necessarily have to be in winter either. I should change that to just say you can get hypothermia at night if you're wet. You don't have the proper drying or heating. Lightning can always be an issue when they're atop a mountain. And When they do get snow, there are avalanche potentials.
Yep.
So the terrain is steep and rugged, with elevations going from about 8,000 feet to 1,500 feet above sea level. Some peaks in the National Forest are near 10,000 feet, so you're not going to have anything over 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
So it's not too high. You still get a little bit of that potential altitude sickness, but not nearly as bad as if you're up in the 14s. Mm-hmm. Some of the animals in the area, Rocky Mountain elk, Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, mountain goats, whitetail deer, mule deer. There are timber wolves, black bears, cougars, bobcats, rattlesnakes, wolverines, and different types of falcons and eagles. So I'd say if any animal was going to be an issue, you're in the cats and the bears and the timber wolf area. And I'd say rattlesnakes too would be an issue.
Yeah, actually reading some comments from locals on a forum where I was doing some research on this case, they actually said rattlesnakes are some of the biggest concerns in this area. So
is there like a big population of rattlesnakes, more so than normal?
They just said they've encountered a lot of rattlesnakes in this wilderness area. So if you go hiking in this national forest or the canyon, just be on the lookout for rattlesnakes.
I'm going to make a hypothesis about this because we ran into this when we were in, where were we again?
Zion.
And the reason why is because it was raining so much, and they said when it rains a lot, they'll actually come onto the path because the sun hits the path and it's warmer. I wonder if you have rattlesnakes in a much colder climate, if it's kind of the same thing, where like everything's so shaded and rugged, where the path is actually the best place for like a warm-blooded creature to be, so they're encountering them more often.
If there's any snake experts listening, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that's my hypothesis. I'm not saying that that's the reason, so don't yell at me. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
This is a guess. So yeah, outside of just rugged terrain, there's some exposure potential, lack of shelter that you'll see once you're reaching high elevations. The difficulty, there's nearly 900 miles of hiking trails in this area, and there are also 17 campgrounds. There's a lot of places to go.
Yep.
The trails do range from easy to very hard, and hiking and backpacking available for any age and experience. So what they're saying is there's probably some easy ones you can do, but there's also some gnarly backcountry that you can get into.
Yeah, and one thing I would stress that kept coming up in all my research on this case in this area is it's very, very rugged and very remote. There was a stat somewhere where there's a huge percentage of this national forest that doesn't even have access to a road. So,
like you have to go like horseback or hike to get to the certain areas?
Yeah, so it's very remote, which means there's not going to be a lot of options for, like we said, shelter or first aid or, any kind of, services. So you really, if you're doing a backcountry trip in a place like this, you really got to prepare. And if I was going hiking here, I'd probably buy a personal locator beacon and take it with me, just in case something happened. It's the easiest way to get rescued.
Yeah. No, seriously, when you're that far back, that's like the big key is, well, you always want to leave your itinerary, but it's going to take teams some time to get out to you if they can't simply just drive there.
Because of the nature, if you're down in the canyon, GPS is going to have a hard time working. You're not going to have cell phone service. With those personal locator beacons, they usually work off of satellites, and a lot of them, I believe, are one-time use. But it could be life or death if you went missing in a place like this. So just something to think about.